Okay, so you're looking into Garmin stock.
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
Makes sense. They've had a pretty impressive comeback from,
Right.
when everyone thought they were going to go the way of, like,
Oh, yeah.
the dinosaurs and
Sonic Boom.
smartphones took over.
Uh-huh.
But this Foking Alpha analysis we're looking at today suggests
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
Garmin might just be getting started.
Getting warmed up.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So the analysis is called Garmin LTD, GRMN, Positioning for a Long-Term Breakout.
Okay.
And it was just published today,
Oh, wow.
January 22nd, 2025.
So hot off the presses.
Yeah. It's very cool.
And
Yeah.
I got to say, the title is pretty bold.
What's that?
Positioning for a long-term breakout.
Okay.
So, I mean, let's
Yeah.
break down what that even means.
Yeah, let's get into it.
The analysis starts by talking about Garmin's ascending trajectory
Okay.
and this parabolic curve forming a support base.
Right.
I mean, honestly, that sounds like something out of a physics textbook.
Yeah.
Can you translate that into, like,
You're right.
normal language?
Yeah. So imagine a snowball rolling downhill,
Okay.
gaining momentum as it goes, getting bigger and bigger.
Okay.
That's kind of what's happening with Garmin's stock price.
Oh, okay.
Every time it dips a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
it finds support at a higher level than before,
Interesting.
suggesting strong buying pressure
Oh.
and, growing confidence from investors.
Okay, so it's like this snowball effect,
Exactly.
pushing the stock higher and higher.
That's the idea.
But I mean,
Yeah.
doesn't every upward trend
Of course.
eventually hit a ceiling?
Well, nothing lasts forever.
Right.
But what's interesting here is
Yeah.
that the analysis suggests this momentum.
Mm-hmm.
It's not random.
Okay.
There are actually concrete factors behind it,
Like what?
like Garmin expanding into new markets
Okay.
and their dominant position in, like, wearables. Oh, right.
And outdoor navigation.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
for an investor who wants to hop on this snowball,
Yeah.
where do they jump in?
Well, the analysis lays out a buy zone
Okay.
between $200 and $215
Got it.
for that initial accumulation phase.
So, like, the best spot on the hill
Yeah, think of it like that.
to start rolling your snowball.
Exactly.
Now, what about that add-on opportunity at $180 they mentioned?
Right. So that's where it gets a
A
little
little technical.
more technical.
Yeah.
It's based on something called a Fibonacci retracement.
Fibonacci,
Yeah.
like the spiral shells and stuff.
Exactly.
That sounds a little mystical.
I know, it sounds a little...
Out there.
Yeah, does it actually work in practice?
Yeah, you'd be surprised.
Really?
Yeah. It's a tool that a lot of analysts use. And in this case, the $180 level
Okay.
corresponds to a pretty significant Fibonacci retracement point,
Okay.
suggesting that if the price dips, it's likely to find support there.
I see.
So it makes it a pretty attractive entry point.
A potential bargain?
Potentially.
Okay, now for the fun part,
All right,
profit targets.
let's hear it.
This analysis
Yeah.
gets pretty ambitious.
Okay.
Talking about $240,
Uh-huh.
then $287,
Wow.
and even an open-ended $300 plus.
Yeah.
I mean, those are some serious gains.
Big numbers.
But how realistic is that?
Right.
I mean, is this just reading tea leaves?
Well, it's definitely exciting stuff, but you're right to be cautious.
Okay.
Technical analysis
Yeah.
is just one piece of the puzzle.
Right.
We also need to consider Garmin's fundamentals, like their market share,
Uh-huh.
competitive landscape,
Right.
and of course,
Yeah.
their actual products.
Right, because a fancy chart
Exactly.
doesn't tell you if people actually want to buy the product.
Doesn't tell you everything.
Now, speaking of caution,
Yeah.
the analysis also talks about stop-loss levels.
Okay.
$180 for those who want to play it safe.
Mhm.
$160 for those with a
Ah.
higher risk tolerance.
Makes sense.
So why are these stop-loss levels so important?
Well, they're like safety nets.
Okay.
They automatically sell your shares
Yeah.
if the price drops below a certain point,
I see.
so it limits your potential losses.
Okay.
And in this case, those stop-loss levels
Yeah.
align with those key support points we identified,
Okay.
providing a solid strategy for managing risk.
Smart.
Yeah.
Now, I have to admit, some of the technical jargon in this analysis
Oh, yeah.
is making my head spin.
Definitely.
They talk about solid stochastic momentum
Right.
and
Yep.
increasing Massey divergence.
Okay.
Can you just translate that into English?
Sure. So these are basically momentum indicators. They
Okay.
help confirm the strength of a trend.
Mm-hmm.
Think of them like gauges on a car dashboard,
Okay.
giving us readings on Garmin's price movement,
Got it.
suggesting that the upward trend is robust.
So more evidence for this snowball effect.
You got it.
But we can't just rely on charts.
Of course not.
We need to talk about Garmin the business.
Yeah.
I mean, they're known for GPS,
Uh-huh.
but it seems like they're doing a lot more these days.
Yeah, they've really branched out. Their
Yeah.
wearables are super popular.
Oh, yeah.
Fitness trackers,
Mhm.
outdoor navigation devices.
Okay.
And they're not just sitting still.
Right.
They're expanding into aviation, marine, even enterprise markets,
Yeah.
which could be huge growth drivers in the future.
So we've got this bullish analysis suggesting Garmin's poised for a breakout
Mm-hmm.
with potential buy zones,
Uh-huh.
ambitious profit targets,
Yeah.
and even a strategy for managing risk.
Right.
But before anyone rushes out to buy stock,
Yeah.
what are the key takeaways?
Well, the key takeaway is that Garmin's a company with strong fundamentals
Okay.
and a very compelling growth story. This analysis gives us a framework for understanding their potential
Right.
from a technical perspective,
Yeah.
but it's always crucial to do your own research.
Of course.
Consider all angles
Right.
before making any investment decisions.
Couldn't agree more. And here's something for everyone to ponder.
All right.
If Garmin does hit these targets,
Mm-hmm.
could they become a dominant force in tech?
Interesting.
Like the next Apple of wearables?
Wow.
What would that mean for the way
Yeah.
we live,
Yeah.
work, and play?
It's a really good question.
Something to think about.
Definitely.
All right, thanks for joining me for this deep dive into Garmin.
It was a pleasure.
Catch you next time.
Sounds good.